students that it is important to have a goal in mind or a vision where you want to go in the future. And you mentioned before that as from a young age, you already knew that you wanted to study at EHL and then later work in a luxury hotel. So did you have any concrete plan of how to get there, or was that more of a vision, but you didn't really know about the steps before?
In my case, I always knew from a young age I wanted to work in hospitality. My father was in the golf business, which means he was running golf courses, which is in a way related to what I do today about hospitality, management, leadership, and business. And I always knew I wanted to be in that kind of environment that mixes all the things I just mentioned. And I realized that one day I want to run one of the best hotels in the world. And for me to get there, I had to go to the, if not the best, the most famous or the most recognized school. And I was lucky enough to have my parents support me. My vision was to be, now I'm in a hotel school. I'm in maybe the most recognized, the oldest, maybe the most famous hotel school in the world. Now I'm on the right track. I need to become a general manager of one of the best hotels in the world. That's what I want to do. And for this, I had to make a plan. And I knew that I wanted to go fast. I wanted to reach that position as fast as possible. And at the time, this is 20 years ago, people were saying you have to go through food and beverage. So I said, okay, I'm going to join F&B. So my 2 internships from Lausanne I did in F&B. The second one was with the Ritz-Carlton in the US. And I was a management trainee for 6 months in the Ritz-Carlton. And that really confirmed me that I wanted to join a big corporation with a very strong values like Ritz-Carlton at the time, and grow and work my way up. I had no restrictions on geography, so I could go anywhere. I just wanted to learn and grow fast and do different types of jobs until I know which one I want the best, and until I could reach the job of GM.
You've come this far and you had your different experiences, you learned a lot. What do you think was your biggest hurdle on this way, and how did you overcome it?
I mean, there's been many, but I think that the biggest hurdle for me was, it's going to sound personal, but it was living away from my family, because I decided to move. I said I'm going to be geographically flexible, which means I was able to move to a lot of countries, but it was hard for me to be away from my family when you start missing every Christmas, every birthday, every New Year's, every Mother's Day, every Father's Day, and you're not there with your family. That was the biggest hurdle, being away. The other hurdle was related to that, was moving so often. It brought me to great things, meaning learning new countries, new cultures, but also every time you have to readapt to those new cultures and new countries. When you move from the US to Indonesia, from Indonesia to Japan, from Japan to China, you have to deal with and learn a lot of new different things, and that's hard when you start a job and you're expected to perform right away, but you're in a totally new environment. You have to be very flexible and adapt yourself very fast in order to be successful. So I guess it was a hurdle that I loved and I chose, but it was maybe one of the hard parts about this, about moving so often, but I loved it also.
Being a person who inspires people, it's interesting to actually ask you directly if you ever had someone who inspired you on your way to where you are now.
Firstly, people that gave me a first chance, who said yes when they could have said no. And there's been a few people in my life that I will never forget, who said, yeah, I'll take him as an intern. I'll give him his first management job. And those people I will never forget. They're not necessarily my mentors, but they were people who gave me a chance. Then along the years, I've had a couple of, I would say specifically two gentlemen that were my boss at some point and became mentors for me and people that I learned from. And did I always get along with them? No. Did we have arguments? Yes, but they gave me a vision. They taught me how to relentlessly push myself. They were pushing me in order to achieve results. And sometimes I thought I cannot achieve it. They were uncompromising with me. They were telling me, you must achieve it, don't give up. And the two of them also taught me something important, apart from pushing and being relentless, about also life balance, how to balance your life and how to do the right things in your life, whether it's personally, socially, whether it's from an investment point of view. So I've had a couple of those mentors who were able to teach me that, and not just the business part, but also the personal part.
Okay, thank you so much for your inspiring words and for the recommendations. I'm sure it's very useful for the students who are listening today.